أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله. إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا. إنه من يهدي الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلن تجد له وليا مرشدا. والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. We welcome each and every one of us to this second day in the series of our ongoing training on Islamic Cooperative Management and Practice at the Tawakkul Institute of Corporate and Cooperative Studies, TICCS, which is a registered and licensed institute by the Kwara State Ministry of Education, Tertiary Education, to provide advanced training in various aspects of Islamic finance and corporate studies. So it's our joy to have you on this training, and we want to thank Allah and express our gratitude to you for your cooperation and your encouraging feedback on the starting part of the training, which began yesterday. By Allah's grace, we are going to proceed from where we stopped yesterday. But I would like to start by clarifying to each and every one of us that this training is a training meant for all stakeholders in the Islamic Cooperative Society and those who aspire to have something doing with the Islamic Cooperative Society. So for that reason, it's not about the training to cater for the interests of the members alone, but rather it is a training for every stakeholder, including members and especially those that may be in charge of management of Islamic Cooperative, to know how best they can, and indeed they should run the affairs of an Islamic Cooperative. So by the end of this training, we hope that whoever is involved at whatever level, and whoever even want to start his own Islamic Cooperative, will be better informed and better guided to know how best they should go about the affairs of their cooperative society. So we pray Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make this training beneficial to each and every one of us and accept this from us as an act of ibadah. He is capable of doing this, and we are very hopeful that He will be merciful on us in granting this to us as a favor. So once again, we welcome each and every one of you. As we informed you yesterday, on this training, we have three of us as your facilitators. Dr. Muhammad Murtala Abdurrahman will be joining us, inshallah, tomorrow. He is an expert both in training, certification, and practice in the aspect of Sharia compliance and Sharia auditing, and anything that has to do with risk. He has been with Jaiz Bank for almost a decade, or he was rather with Jaiz Bank for almost a decade before he joined Sun Trust Bank, and currently he is working with the Alternative Bank, which is one of the non-interest banks in Nigeria. And the second facilitator, which you are going to be meeting either later today or tomorrow morning, inshallah, is Barrister Yusuf Foronsho Zubair, who is currently working as a state counsel, senior state counsel with the Public Complaints, Complaints Commission, which is an agency of the federal government with at their office located in Ilorin, and is also a lawyer, just like Dr. Imam Abdurrahman is also a lawyer and a Sharia lawyer for that matter. So myself, I'm Dr. Abdullahi Salih Shola. I'm currently the Dean, Faculty of Law, International Open University in the Gambia, where I am currently reaching out to you. So I am a certified Sharia advisor and auditor by IOFI, as well as certified Islamic specialist in Sharia auditing by Sibavi, both in Bahrain. And I'm also a certified cooperative entrepreneur by the International Institute of Cooperative in Boa, Cameroon. And as well as I'm a lawyer and a specialist in the academics in the field of Islamic social finance law and practice, which covers various areas, including Islamic Cooperative, Al-Waqfu, Islamic Endowment, Al-Mirath, Al-Wasiya, Hibba, Tabarra, so many aspects of Islamic social finance, including Zakat, law, and practice by Allah's grace. So I'm very glad to be with you, and I hope that with your experience with us here, you will also be joining us in our other subsequent training in the areas of Waqfu, Mirath, which we are going to float in the coming years, inshallah. Jazakumullahu khairan wa hasanallahu ilaykum. Now, yesterday we started by looking at the general principle of Islamic Cooperative, and we moved on to identify the various features of Islamic Cooperative. And we made a point that as far as Muslims are concerned and those who are ethically minded, there is nothing conventional about the un-Islamic cooperative. Rather, it is just one that is contrary to the Islamic cooperative system. So for that reason, we will not be, as stakeholders and Islamic cooperative managers, we should not be referring to that cooperative as conventional cooperative. That will not be professionally right for us. So even if others are saying that, we should be able to correct them. So because Islamic cooperative is what is conventional to us. So we made that point clear, and I believe it has been well digested. And we emphasize that Islamic cooperative has some features which must be avoided, and those that must be ensure that it is observed. Part of it is business setup, that any engagement, any earnings, any income that Islamic cooperative want to make, it must be backed up based on a particular service that has been rendered or an asset that is being transacted. Apart from this, if you cannot specifically clarify what service you are rendering in a particular situation for you to be charging members certain fee, then such will not be halal, because it will amount to non-permissible earnings. And we gave a very practical example of the so-called administrative charges, which many Islamic cooperatives do charge their members, as well as and if there for any reason you charge your member penalty for defaulting, you are entitled to charge penalty, but you should know that that penalty is not something that you can use to run the affairs of the cooperative. Rather, it must be given out as it must be given out as a charity. Yeah. Please, can somebody just ask on the platform, on the WhatsApp platform, because I don't want to be distracted. Somebody is asking to join by name Lukman Anthony, and we don't have that list on our registered member. So I hope somebody is not sharing the link with non-registered participants. Please kindly confirm on the on the WhatsApp for the person to indicate who he is. So if you are able to clarify, then I will admit. Otherwise, I'm going to deny him admittance into this training. Thank you. Yes. So we look at the aims and objectives of Islamic Cooperative, which will guide our business activities. It's not that you just be doing business or waiting for members to come and be asking questions or what they need, but rather an Islamic Cooperative should roll out products for members towards meeting these various objectives of Islamic Cooperative for them. We talk about the Sharia compliance goal, the Maqasid goal, the Islamic finance goal, which entails that Islamic Cooperative must be Sharia, it must be enterprising in nature. We should go into our cooperative operation with the mind of being in a serious business. Then halal goal, purifying members' consumption and earning. And in this, we can see at this 6 and 10 in an Nawawi collection, where somebody went to the Prophet, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The Prophet was given a kind of parable of somebody. He said, "Wama ta'amuhu haram," that his food, the food that he eats is haram. Wama libasuhu haram, the cloth that he wears is haram. Everything about him is haram. And he now raised up hands to Allah, Ya Rab, that Allah should accept his prayer. The Prophet now said, when somebody is so much covered with haram in his various engagements, وَأَنَّ يُسْتَجَابُ لَهُ. So how does he want to have his prayers accepted by Allah? So with this, we will know that as an Islamic cooperative, we have a responsibility towards our members to ensure that they don't engage in haram consumption by ensuring that they find the cooperative a relying outlet for them. So that is a recap of what we did yesterday, and we started identifying some issues of Sharia compliance, issue of shareholding, that it is mandatory. We are going to talk more about this today. So, and this is where we stopped yesterday, that shareholding is mandatory for every member. It is not voluntary. So once you are making your shares voluntary, it means that you are not complying with the Sharia requirement. So in that regard, we need to ensure that we are not wanting in the aspect of Sharia compliance. Okay, this person can try to rejoin again. So, and that is why it will have been better we just got to know the name of those who registered. So we talk of the loan services, that the alternative to loan services is financing. Instead of making our Islamic cooperative to appear as a platform for loan, rather we should be much more focused on financing. We are going to get to understand all this better, inshallah, as we proceed. Now, the next issue that we also want to clarify to us is as regard the relevant legal instrument. Under the 1999 Constitution of Nigeria, under Item 32, Part 1 of the second schedule, which is the exclusive list, that is the matters on which only the federal government can legislate upon, that is the National Assembly. It is stated there that registration of cooperative is outside the scope of the federal government. But we notice that some people make the mistake of attempting to register their cooperative with the CAC, Corporate Affairs Commission. The Corporate Affairs Commission does not have power to register a cooperative society. Rather, the registration of cooperative society is within the power of the relevant state agency, which usually is a Ministry of, they call it Ministry of Commerce and Cooperative, some call it Ministry of Commerce and Digital Economy. So those are the ones that are responsible for registration of a cooperative society as well as Islamic Cooperative. So if you want to register, you have to go to them. We are going to understand in other modules what is the procedure and what is required for us when we want to do the registration. Likewise, the justification for us to have Islamic Cooperative as different from the other one, the non-Islamic, is the fact that the Constitution also provides for freedom of religion. And we know that for a Muslim, Islam is a total way of life. So it is an expression of our religious affiliation to say that we are operating Islamic Cooperative. So for that reason, it's a fundamental right for Muslims and those who are ethically minded to also operate Islamic Cooperative under the Constitution. Likewise, freedom of association. We are free to associate as a cooperative society. And this is covered under the Constitution. Because some people will be wondering, why all this stress when you already have another cooperative that you know, that one cannot serve our interest. And we have the right to express our religion as well as freedom of association. Likewise, other relevant legal instrument in the Cooperative Societies Law of each state. And we also have Cooperative Societies Act, which is an act of the National Assembly. But that act is only applicable to the Federal Capital Territory. But unfortunately, some states will even be paying unnecessary respect to the Cooperative Societies Act. Why they will even require that each cooperative should have an act and be looking at it as if that is the law that regulates and applies to the cooperatives registered in the state. It's only when you want to register cooperative society at the FCT in Abuja that that act will apply, because the act is no longer applicable. It's not a national law, rather it is a law that was made for the FCT. Even though it was made during the military era as a decree, which was made applicable to the whole nation. But when the 1999 Constitution came, it now excluded the power of regulating the cooperative society from the federal government. And as such, that act only became valid to the extent of its application to the FCT. So for that reason, if we are operating our cooperative at the state level, we should rather look for the relevant law in that state. If you are operating in Lagos State, you need to be familiar with the Lagos State Cooperative Societies Law. Please, 1 minute, let me try to control those who are making noise around here. Okay, sorry for that. Then another instrument that you must be very familiar with and which you must be working with is the Cooperative Societies Regulation. So every law of each state has its own regulation. So you must also be familiar with the regulation. That regulation is a kind of a subsidiary legislation to the law, which are attached to it, and you have to be very much familiar with it. Likewise, the Sharia principles regulating cooperative society, which is what we are going to be talking about here today, must also be well familiar with. So when we understand this as cooperative managers, we will always have responses to whatever issue that our members may raise, and we will be better guided in the way we manage our cooperative society. So now, another very important issue, and which I will beg for your rapt attention, is the issue of contractual structuring of Islamic Cooperative. This is very, very, very important because this is the area where many cooperative societies are missing out. We don't understand what is even the nature of the contract, because we must understand that Islamic Cooperative Society is a business institution, and any business establishment is always based on contract, al-aqidu. Now, what is the contract that is existing within our cooperative structuring? So that's why we have used this diagram to illustrate clearly the kind of contract. Firstly, we need to understand what is the relationship, contractual relationship that exists, before we now identify the very particular contract that exists within that relationship. One, in any Islamic cooperative, the cooperative itself is an entity which in law is referred to as a kind of artificial person. So cooperative as an entity stands on its own. That is one of the stakeholders in the cooperative. Number two, we have members. Then we also have the management as another entity, making three. So now, members are within themselves, member to members. As you can see from this diagram, you see members to members now. They have a particular contractual relationship that must be very, very well understood. Because when issues arise as which is inevitable. It is the contract between them that will determine what will be the implication of whatever dispute that arise. I told you yesterday that even under the law, you register your cooperative as limited liability. The implication of that is that every member has undertaken to be liable for certain amount of money in case the cooperative runs into a bankruptcy. It has problem, and they now have to settle the financial problem of the cooperative. So who are those that have undertaken to be responsible for that? And as we know, when you want to do this, you do so by subscribing to share. So the share the members have subscribed to is their expression of undertaking to be responsible for whatever financial problem that may arise. Now, if you now have a cooperative where what makes a member to become a member is just by merely subscribing to registration, application form, taking application form, and that application form is being treated, and you now approve that that person has become a member. He has not become a member even in the eyes of the law, because without that share subscription, he has not established any contract between it and the cooperative, and the cooperative cannot treat him if any issue arises as a member, because legally he's not a member. So apart from the legal requirements, the requirement of the law, we also need to understand the contractual relationship in the Sharia. So we must understand what is the contractual relationship between members to members. Then members to the management. There will also be another contractual relationship. Then what is the relationship between members and the cooperative itself as an entity? If you are joining a cooperative, you are entering into a contract with other members. You are entering into a contract with the cooperative. You are entering into a contract with the management. So these are the three contractual relationships that we must understand. Now, between the members and members, the contractual relationship between them is based on musharaka. Musharaka is Islamic principles of partnership, which entails that two or more persons, they come together to contribute financial contribution by all members, all parties involved in musharaka is a fundamental condition for musharaka, because that is what differentiates musharaka from mudaraba. So now every member must contribute equity. Even under the 7th principles of cooperative, international principles of cooperative, one of it is equitable contribution. No cooperative can be considered to be valid, or no person will be considered to be a valid member of a cooperative when it does not have equitable contribution, even at the international level. And that is why in the law of the cooperative, you also see that they say the cooperative should be registered either as limited liability or unlimited. In either way, members must subscribe to shares. So for the musharaka contract to be valid, it means that all members must contribute certain amount. And that is why you have to designate the amount in terms of the minimum that can be contributed before a member will be validly admitted to your cooperative membership. And that is the share. So the share is the one that will establish that a member has actually entered into a valid musharaka contract with other members. So I hope you are following. So this is for the members to members relationship. Now, again, member to the management. When a management of the cooperative are operating, they are serving the interests of the members on one hand, and they are also serving the interests of the cooperative on the other hand. Now, for the cooperative, let's first establish this. For the cooperative, between the cooperative and member, two contracts may exist, depending on the way that we look at it. When members have contributed money, the fund that they have contributed now remains who is going to manage it for them. And that is where the cooperative comes in as an entity. So the contract that will exist between the members and the cooperative is it may be in form of mudoraba or wakala, where the wakala contract exists between the cooperative and the member. It means the cooperative is representing the members as their agent. And it may be a paid agent that there would have been a clear agreement on how much is going to go to the cooperative when business is done. So these have already been clarified in the provision of the law. We have different funds that you have to maintain and how much it can go into it, including education fund. Education fund is the fund that the cooperative is expected to be using in order to educate its members, to organize training for its members, such as this. So a cooperative can sponsor 1, 2, 5 of their members to attend a training like this, taken from their education fund, or they organize training for them where they will invite facilitators. So this will be based on what goes to the cooperative in terms of their shares from the profit that is made. Now, the cooperative is an artificial person which cannot act on its own because it's not a human being. It must act through some people. So those who now represent the cooperative are the management. So the management, they have a kind of a contract with the cooperative to serve as its agent, wakil. So the contract between the agent and the management is wakil. Is wakala. Why between the management and the cooperative and members of the cooperative, on the other hand, also, there is also another contract, which is the contract of Mudoraba as well. And this is where we are talking of the enterprising nature of Islamic Cooperative. Islamic Cooperative is not something that you will say you have the executive member. You are now asked them to be doing services. You say they are doing fi sabilillah. No, there's no fi sabilillah as far as a cooperative is concerned. You have to pay them as if per the contract between you and them. So if anybody you think, I'm a good Muslim, I'm a good brother, I'm a good sister, I want to support my Ummah, so you are now taking your time. You are saying this thing is stressful. Serving the woman is so stressful because you are serving cooperative. So you are the one that choose to do that. Nobody sent you because you are entitled to get your payment, because there must exist a contract between you and them. Either you are acting under the contract of Mudoraba, by which you will be the Mudori and the members of the cooperative within the Rabbul Man, or you be their agent that right from, okay, we are serving, there must be clear in your bylaw that our executive will be our agent. And as agent, they will be entitled to, let's say, 10% of whatever profit that we make. So they will know that at the end of the transaction financial year, whatever that is made, 10% will automatically go to the executive member. Maybe net profit after deduction of all expenses. And that does not mean that they should be using their money. So you are doing feasibility, you want to make call for the transaction of the cooperative. You are using your money, you are using your time, you are using your power. Nobody sent you that, because this is not a charitable organization. It's a business enterprise that you, as the one contributing to the growth, the business of the cooperative, you are entitled, as a matter of contract, to be compensated. And that must be clear in your bylaw. I hope that is clear. So now, when we now understand this contractual structuring in the Islamic Cooperative, then we should know how we should structure our cooperative very well. All these contractual terms will form part of the provision of our bylaw. That is why in the bylaw, there will be a provision where a chapter where the contractual terms of the cooperative will be spelled out. I have not seen any cooperative, except those that I've consulted for, where in their bylaw they specifically spell out what is the contractual terms of their cooperative. So that is why they will not know. Members themselves will not understand what exactly are they doing. They are doing association just to come up and meet and do meeting without any focus. So that should not be the approach to our cooperative practices. Now, we need to understand the implication of this contractual structuring that we have talked about. Number one, by the fact that we have said that members-to-member relationship is musharaka. Do you know the implication of that? the Sharia implication and legal implication is that members are shareholders in the cooperative. So we call members of the cooperative, we call them corporators. So corporators are like the shareholders of your company, because cooperative is also like a company. So they are the shareholders. And all the right privileges attached to the shareholder under the Islamic business setup applies to them. And that shareholding is mandatory. It is general for every member, no exception. The only thing is you have your minimum shareholding and you also have your maximum. The maximum is that one member cannot hold more than 25% of the shares of the cooperative. So again, I think we are going to talk about that. Your cooperative itself, in your bylaw, must clearly state your nominal shares. Nominal shares. That is, okay, Tawakkul Cooperative now, we have 100 million shares. So we have 100 million shares. And you must take record, out of 100 million shares that your cooperative has, how many have been subscribed to. So if you have 100 million shares, and that 100 million share is at 1,000 naira per shares, it means if you are able to have members to subscribe to all your shares, your cooperative can be as buoyant as having 1 billion naira. So why then should we now say we don't have money to do business? It's because we don't structure our shareholding very well. How does a cooperative that says its shareholding is 5 kobo and a member will be claiming to have 5,000 shares, which does not amount to any meaningful amount of money? So compare with the one that will say that our one share is 10,000 naira. So if a member is holding 10 shares, it means he has subscribed to 100,000 naira of the fund of the cooperative. So if you want to have a cooperative, you want to raise fund, it's a matter of restructuring your shareholding and call your members to subscribe to your share. Even I told you yesterday, a cooperative raised 400 million naira. Do we think 400 million naira is a small money? That is almost how much is that? I don't know whether it's close to half a billion or not. So, and they did this just within 1 month or so. So people have money and you can raise money as a cooperative, but it is left for you to structure your cooperative properly. So now, we talk of members to members. We said is musharaka, and the implication is that members are shareholders. Then members to members relationship. On the other hand, if we want to also make it in terms of jari, at least making them to be neighbors. Because we are looking at the scholars. I told you yesterday that some scholars, they said that kullu qaridin jarra nafa fahuwa riba. That any loan that you are advanced to another person, which now begets what? Which begets benefit. In our cooperative, everybody knows that I'm going to get loan so that my own money will also be used as loan for others. So it means we are exchanging benefits in our loan circle. And some scholars say that for that reason, that loan circle that the cooperative engage in is not valid. While we have other views that say that even during the time of Omar or Omar bin Abdulaziz, that there's something they call Friday meeting among the women, where they come together to do a kind of thrift, and nobody condemned them. So if that is the case, but whatever it is, we are also looking at another way by which we can legalize, or let's say we Sharialize our loans practices in our cooperative. That is, in our bylaw, if we declare that members to member, they are also a kind of a neighbor. There are some hadiths of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam that part of the responsibility of a neighbor to neighbor is that when your neighbor requests you to loan him something, you should not refuse. So if the relationship between members is now constituted to be based on neighbor to neighbor, then we will be justified in our circulation of loan as neighbors to each other. So this is part of what we are trying to propose so that we'll be able to address the concern about the validity of our loan practices. Then again, we also look at the members to cooperative relationship. So we said it's a kind of a paid wakala, that is paid agent. So, and for that reason, the cooperative itself can be given certain percentage of the net profit for management, where the cooperative will now also share whatever it gets from that with the management. Because the management, they are now the agents of the cooperative. But if it is mudoraba, it means the members will be Rabbul Man, while the cooperative will be Mudori. And there could be a clear declaration of how they are going to share the profit. Because the cooperative is not working for members on charity. It's working for members for it to also make income. And when it makes the income, the management that is representing it as its own wakil, as its own agent, will also be paid. So this is why we talk about how wealth is being generated and circulated through the Islamic Cooperative Society. So I hope you can see this. Then, for that reason, we must take note of the following membership structuring. 1, all members must be seen as shareholders. It means the musharaka contract is mandatory to exist between all members. Then you must set minimum shareholding. For instance, you may say every member is required to hold not less than 2 shares to be a valid member. You may say 5, you may say 10, etc. And you must set minimum share value. Your share must have a value. And we should not be using value that are not valuable. Saying 1 share is 5 naira, 1 share is 10 naira. Does that even have value? So you can start with 1,000, 2,000 naira per share. And if you have your nominal share, you will know that if you are able to raise funds, all your shares are subscribed to, you know how much you can anticipate for your cooperative to be richer. Then the payments for shares should be instant payment, no installment. I have had a encounter with some cooperative where they say members are saving for shares. I mean, they buy shares, but they are paying on installment. Of course, they can be saving for shares to buy shares at a later date. But if we say a member has bought a share, it means he has advanced the amount of the shares to be added to the cooperative fund. Then there should be a period for opening of share subscription at interval. So the most advisable is for you to open your share before the beginning of a new financial year. Your financial year depends on when your cooperative starts to operate. It may not necessarily mean January to December. Like in our own cooperative, our financial year is from July to June. So, like if you want to open a new subscription, we open around April. So between April and May, new members who want to join will subscribe to shares, and until the following year before we open. Because whatever money you gather within that year you must clearly account for it that these are the members whose money you have used. If a member joins along the way, it will be difficult for you to clearly know what will be his benefit and how much he has contributed. Because the dividend is going to be based on the number of shares that is subscribed to. Then, share subscription must be the primary admittance into membership, not just by taking form. Then you can also have, when we talk of saying that you don't charge administrative charges, you have other means by which you can generate income. One of it is when members want to join, the membership fee, application fee, is a very good means of income for the cooperative. And you can even structure it in a way that you have categories of members so that you will not bar so many people. In our cooperative, we have categories of membership. We have A+, we have category A, we have category B, category C, category D, and category E. So based on the category, we split the application fee, because each category also has its own limited benefit, because the amount they subscribe is also different. The minimum share, if you want to be in one category, but you can move from one category to another by increasing your share. And when you move from that category, you have to pay the balance of the application fee. I hope we could have an opportunity to talk about the share structuring. I don't think it's part of what this module cover. So you will understand that better in a way. So this is the membership structuring. Now, what is the management structuring? Number one, every Islamic cooperative must have Shura board. It must have Shura board, and that is the highest decision making next to the general assembly. I mean general meeting, AGM, annual general meeting. Before the general meeting, the Shura has the overall power to make decision. Whatever decision that the management have made, the Shura has the power to ratify it or to even review it. So Shura is the highest body making. One of the mistakes that most Islamic cooperatives make is that they only constitute Shura when they want to have their what do we call it? Change of leadership. But that is not correct. The Shura is permanent, and you structure the membership will also be spelled out clearly in a way that you will know those who can always be members of the Shura. So in your bylaw, you also state that clearly, how the Shura is going to be constituted and what are the roles assigned for it, and to make it permanent. Because Shura must always be in place as the highest decision-making body. Not that Shura should only come in when you want to appoint leadership. No, because every decision made by the cooperative, if any issue arises, then it must be submitted to the Shura board. Then executive committee, that is the management. The minimum member of executive committee or the most important fundamental offices are the president, the secretary, and the treasurer. Every cooperative must have these three offices. So apart from these three, others will just be to serve your own, the specific interest of your cooperative. But every cooperative must have a president, it must have secretary and treasurer. In fact, when you want to register, these are the three that will be requested to be provided. Then Sharia board is also mandatory. I have had the opportunity when we open floor for discussion. So I would like to know how many people, how many cooperatives here have Sharia board? And without Sharia board, if you say you are operating Islamic Cooperative, you are just playing. That is where the issue of Sharia compliance will arise. Because any Islamic finance institution without Sharia board is not considered to be valid, to be Sharia compliant. Because what you want to be doing has to do with Sharia. So we will be advising, we will be guiding the cooperative on this matter. And the issue of Sharia is not just about we have some Afa scholars among our members. No, not every scholar is proficient in Sharia. So somebody may be a professor of Arabic, but when it comes to Sharia, it's nowhere to be found. But in our society, we have taken it that everybody that is Afa, who is proficient in Arabic, should be able to respond to Sharia issue. It's just like saying that because somebody can speak English, he should be able to respond to legal issues. Is it everybody, even professor of English, who is not a lawyer, will remain ignorant of the law? He cannot advise on matters of law. The same thing with Sharia. And that is why globally, they go further to test those who can be certified as Sharia advisors and auditors. So the way you go about your Sharia board is either you can call it Sharia compliance or advisory board or advisory board of experts. When we talk of the governance, which is also part of this module, part 2, we are going to see how you structure your Sharia board, the options available for you. Then also, in your cooperative, you should have legal units, legal advisor. These are the things that we overlook. Most likely you have among your members those who are lawyers. So you should constitute your legal committee to advise you on legal matters. But a president or executive committee who are not lawyers, they will be the one deciding on contract, not looking at the legal implication. But when the issue arises, they are going to eventually go to the lawyer. So every cooperative, part of your management structure, it should be that you have legal unit or you have a legal advisor of the cooperative. Then you should also have Sharia audit consultant. Sharia compliance will be part of the daily activities of the cooperative. While the Sharia auditor will be the one that you submit your annual report to for Sharia auditing to review whether all your activities you claim to have done in line with the Sharia principles are actually Sharia compliant. So Sharia compliance board or officer is when the business is undergoing. Before you undertake any action, the Sharia compliance officer or consultant will advise you on it and all of this. But for the auditor, just like you prepare your financial annual report that you have financial auditor, you must also have Sharia auditor. So it's not enough to just do financial auditing as far as Islamic Cooperative is concerned. You must also do Sharia auditing. And at the AGM, Sharia auditor's report should be part of what is going to be presented, just as you present financial auditor report. So these are the things that make Islamic Cooperative to be properly managed and administered in a way that is expected to be Sharia compliant. So I think we can have a short break here for me to give room to some responses. So if you want to make responses, you can kindly raise up your hand, and we take that within 5 to 10 minutes before we proceed. So you can raise up your hand here, and I will call you to unmute yourself. So Engineer Tunde, please unmute yourself. And if it's okay, you can please open your video.
Thank you very much, lecturer. Sorry, it's not okay again. I didn't dress up for.
Okay, no problem.
I'm just in my room. My question is about compensation for the executive members. Should it be monthly or should it be annually? Should it be based on the cooperative making profit, or notwithstanding if the cooperative makes money or not, the executive management still gets paid?
Okay. Yeah, quickly. So for that one is to be annual. Every other thing they would be getting should be just to cater for immediate expenses. And what they will get will only depend on the cooperative making profit, because that is the work they are supposed to do. So if they don't make profit, it means they also get nothing. And they should even be able to explain to the cooperative why the cooperative runs at loss, because they have undertaken that they are competent to manage the affairs of the cooperative. So it's not just about them not getting anything if the cooperative runs into loss, but this will also be accountable and explain to the AGM why the cooperative has run into loss. Thank you. So Mr. Olakosim, please unmute yourself.
All right. My question, the first is regarding the remuneration of the management. At times when we have a wakala relationship, it could be that we say there should be a way that they can have both monthly stipend, especially when they have to leave their jobs to manage the cooperative, maybe the cooperative staff. So there should be a way to structure their payments, monthly payments, and at the end of the day, they can also have a sort of agro that will be based on the profits of the cooperative. That's number one. Number two is the fact that when we have a musharaka relationship, well, it is also okay when we have different categories of membership. But don't you think that the members should be like equal membership, but the essence is just their contribution? Since the shares is equal shares, then why do we have a sort of a preference shares in this case, if I can use that word? Thank you.
Sorry, I didn't get, I did not say we have preference shares. I don't know what you are talking about in terms of saying members are not equal.
Okay, what I mean is that, now we have categories of membership, which obviously means that, the value of the shares for a category is more than the other one. And all will be, if it should be a member-to-member relationship, which should be that, okay, there is a particular nominal value of shares. The number of shares should be equal, but the subscription to the shares is different. What I'm saying is, it does not mean that a member is superior to another member.
No member is superior. You didn't get what the clarification we are trying to make. What we are saying is that even without you categorizing your membership, every member is required to have the minimum share, and there will also be the maximum. So it doesn't mean that every member will have the same shares at the same time. I may have 10 shares while you have 100 shares. As long as that 100 share is not up to 25% of the shares that is currently subscribed to by members. So the issue of categorization of membership is just for administrative convenience, so that every member will be aspiring to move to certain things. Then also it's also for the benefit and purpose of determining how much committed a member is to the cooperative. And if anything is to come, you cannot compare somebody who has more shares with the cooperative in terms of maybe you want to do financing for somebody now. You say your shares is 1,000 naira per share. and somebody just has 2 shares, 2,000 naira, and is approaching the cooperative, not even having savings, or he doesn't have other members, because part of the things when you want to do financing that you can use as collateral is to use the shares of other members. If somebody you want to do financing for a member, you can ask him that he bring a member. That member is savings, is shares, everything, as long as it's up to the amount of the financing you want to do, he will use it as collateral. So what we are saying is that in terms of benefit, is just because when you want to do services for them, in terms of the financial value, that shares will determine. Because every member will also know that if I'm not in this category of membership, it means my shares is not up to this. And I have limitation to the kind of benefit that I may request from the cooperative. So that is what we are trying to say. It doesn't mean that one member is made to be more superior to the other. It's just a matter of proper arrangement and management of the affairs of the member. Because if you don't do that, you will see some members, they'll be even blackmailing the cooperative, that they don't love us. That is why it's only these people that they always respond to their request. Now, ask that member, what is the amount of shares he has subscribed to? Maybe 1 share, 2 share, minimum share. And he wants to get the same benefit that somebody who has subscribed to maybe 1,000 shares in the cooperative, having millions as his own equitable contribution. So we cannot treat unequal with to be equal. That is not, I don't think anything is wrong in that. Thank you. So Mr. Gentura, so I'm trying to see those who have not asked questions yesterday first.
The first question, you don't answer the first question, sir.
What is the first question, please?
That's regarding the payment of salaries to the committee, to the...
Yeah, they will not have salary, because we have talked about the contractual relationship. If we treat them that they are representing, they are agents of the cooperative. So the contract between the cooperative and the members can only be wakala, or it will be mudoraba. And more preferably, it should be mudoraba. So why the management are working for the cooperative as its agent? So whatever the cooperative gets as mudorib, then we will stipulate in the bylaw that 40% will be for the cooperative as a mudorib, while its own wakil, the management, will get 10% from that, whatever he gets. So if that is the case, it means that they also need to work to make money, not fixed share. Not fixed payment. But they can get expenses. Just like when you are running a business, expenses will be, so whatever expenses they need will be catered up in the course of their activities, but not that they will be getting anything before the, but because it will amount to them benefiting when they have not really brought any benefit to the cooperative. Thank you. Gentura.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullah.
Okay, my name is Rabia Abdul Hassan. So the question I wanted to ask has just been responded by you, because I was trying to understand the contractual relationship between the management and the cooperative itself, but you just explained that it is wakala.
Yes.
But the further question I want to ask is this. I understand that the relationship will be more of wakala or a mudaraba, just so that they can act as mudarib to the cooperative. But so are you saying that, or can there not be, what if the management is interested in also becoming members? Because if they indicate interest in becoming members of the society or the cooperative, you can see that there will be a kind of dual relationship now. There will be a relationship on their own part as Mudori, and then there will be another relationship that will be established between them and the cooperative by virtue of them being members. Or are you suggesting that it's safer for them to just face their role exclusively as management and not become members of the cooperative. And this also extends to other members performing other roles. For instance, the legal advisor, the Sharia advisors, and the rest. Because I know that by the time they extend their relationship between what they are currently offering to a relationship of other than what the cooperative is expected, what is expected to bind them, that is the musharaka contract, then they will naturally be entitled to fees other than what they would ordinarily be entitled to by virtue of them being members of the cooperative. Thank you. I don't know if this question was...
That is very clear. Thank you very much. So let me say straight away that by international cooperative principle, the cooperative is not expected to even interact with any person other than its members. So for that reason, all of them that we talk about are expected first and foremost to be members, except external consultant, that is the auditor, who is a professional on his own. But if you can also encourage such to be a member, the better. In fact, when you want to do any contract as a cooperative, you are expected to first consider your members, because if you look at even the tax law and other legal things, the cooperative enjoys some exception, because they believe that whatever you are doing is just like you are doing a kind of enclosed interaction. The business that the cooperative is doing is actually not considered as a business, because ordinarily they expect that what you will do, your transaction, will only be within yourselves. Your members will be your customer. They will be the shareholder. They will be the one to pay, through whom you generate income. They will still be the one you share the income with. So everything is expected to just be within your members. So for that reason, the executive that will be representing the cooperative, they must be members. Not that they will stand and say we are just managing the cooperative. So they must also be members. I hope that is clear, because that is even the foundation for them to be the executive. An external person cannot participate in the internal affairs of the cooperative, except for those who are consultants. The legal advisor you want to have will also be part of the members. Your Sharia compliance officer should also be member of the cooperative. It's only when you don't have them that you now look for an outsider. And such an outsider, you can request that it should also be your member, because it will mean that everybody that is running the affair, they know that apart from what they will get from their management, they are also stakeholders, they are shareholders. In fact, one of the things I'm looking at as we grow in this field is that for anybody that will be executive, there should be minimum share requirement holding for such a person. If somebody wants to be a president of your cooperative and you are appointing somebody who has just the minimum shares, so how much interest does it have in that cooperative for him to be so committed? And when it's not even perhaps the person that floated the cooperative, so how much does he want to have as interest in that cooperative? So this is the requirements of the law and the international standard practice. And that is why we always say that the cooperative is a business of a group of persons by the same person for the same persons. So everything is expected to run round. One of the fundamental duties of any cooperative member is for him to patronize the business of the cooperative. But we have so many passive members. The only thing they are good at is for them waiting for the AGM. They will now be raising unnecessary observations. But over the year, they have been sleeping. So they will now wake up from their grave and come to the AGM and start disrupting and condemning all the effort that people have made over the years. So, in fact, it's one of the reasons a member can be expelled if it's not actively committed to the cooperative in terms of savings, in terms of patronizing the business of the cooperative. These two things are very fundamental. It's only if you are just being lenient with them. If a cooperative is justified to expel any member and withdraw his membership if it's not committed to savings with the cooperative, if it's not committed to patronizing the business of the cooperative. So as a matter of fact, in your bylaw and operation guideline, you may also stipulate it there that part of it is that every member is expected within the financial year to patronize the business of the cooperative at least 3 times. So whoever does not meet up with that requirement may have some sanctions, and it may be a reason for him to have his membership withdrawn, because the business of the cooperative cannot grow if we don't have a business-minded and seriously committed members. So I hope that address your concern. Thank you. So, let's listen to Techno Beef 7. Is he here again?
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
Assalamu alaikum. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen, sir. It's really an eye-opener for us, most especially people like us who just started the business of Islamic Cooperative. My question is this management structured. I want to ask that with a new cooperative that are struggling with membership, all this structure that you mentioned now, do you think that it will be appropriate to fill all, like all these Shura board, management board, Sharia board, legal unit, Sharia audit, and financial auditor, with a young cooperative that are struggling to, drive members, like the membership is still less than 50. Do you think that it is appropriate to fill all those categories of structure that you highlighted? That is one. Then number two, from your lecture, sir, it is clear now that it is always better, that is, for cooperative to always open and close a share rather than make it like a continuous thing, like once you pay for saving, you can equally pay for your share too. That's my question that I want a clarification of. Thank you, sir.
Oh, okay. Now, with regards to the filling of the offices, I have mentioned that at a start, a cooperative is only required to have at least 3 offices. That is the office of the president, the office of the secretary, and the office of the treasurer. So every other one you'll be adding there. And that is why the minimum members required before you can say you are starting a cooperative is 10. So if out of 10 people, you have president, you have whatever. So among other members, if you have those who can serve, instead of having them as a committee, you can just designate them to act in that regard. Maybe among the executive, you had one other person to mix them up to have all these requisite, requisite offices that we have mentioned as part of your corporate governance structuring. So as the cooperative grows, if you have 50, so if you don't have a lawyer among your members yet, then which means you should try to go and win one to wood one member, a lawyer to join you for the benefit, for the purpose of achieving that. So if you don't have a Sharia proficient person, so that one you can still contract it out to an individual or institution. We have various Sharia advisory institutions now in Nigeria or companies. So I think that address your concern. So now, let me call Mr. Kola Onifade, and after him, we are going to take one more, and after that, we have like 5 minutes break to go and stretch our leg.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum salam.
We thank the organizer of this program for a very good and enlightening program. We appreciate you. However, in the course of today's talk, you did mention that we do business with ourselves. That is, the cooperators are the people doing business with themselves. Is it possible or is it allowed for a cooperative to partner a business outside of their membership to do business with such, either owning a business outfit together, or must it be member ownership that can exist? That is one. Two, in the course of is it also allowed for management to finance a business of non-members? If a non-member approach the cooperative to raise funds for a business, is it allowed to do that? Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Now, doing business with others, and also financing. Financing is also doing business with others. So it's still the same thing. Primarily, if you want to do business, for instance, you want to paint the office of your cooperative, the expected step is for you to first advertise to members, in terms of if you have members who are into that services, to engage them, because that is part of the benefit they also want to gain from the cooperative. It's only when you don't have within your member that you contract it to another person. And I can tell you, if you understand that one of your key sources of income that you use to generate your, to run the affairs of your cooperative is the membership fee. Each time you have an opportunity of giving job to somebody, you should take the advantage of requesting him to also join the cooperative. That we are giving this job to you because we don't have any member among ourselves. Otherwise, we will not have considered you. So now, if we deal with you now, you stand a better chance in the future to be considered for similar job if you are a member. So in fact, at our own cooperative, what we usually do is that when we want to give job to an outsider, we will explain to him how we operate our cooperative to see the benefit and request him to first join as a member. Because one of the reasons for that is that the membership fee is going to is going to add to our income, which we use to run the affairs of the cooperative. So, and that is why you must also always be very active in marketing membership of your cooperative to people, because you know that the more people that join, the more income you generate to run the affairs of your cooperative. So that is the advice, and I think the best way that it should be done. Now, assuming we now see maybe an entity, a company that you want to finance its business, which is not your member. It's allowed that you do that as long as you do your due diligence and you are convinced that there will not be problem for the cooperative. It's very much allowed to do that, because all that matters is for you to generate halal income for the cooperative. And whatever way that can be done, you cannot restrict yourself, say, we cannot do business with outsider other than our members. When you know that you are going to benefit from that business. So there's nothing stopping you in doing that. So I hope that is clear. Now, finally, let's hear from Kehinde Oyewale. Or did you talk yesterday?
No, sir, I wasn't able to talk yesterday because I couldn't unmute my mic.
Okay, please go ahead so that after this we can
okay, sir.
Go on break.
Thank you very much, sir. So I'm concerned about the members to members relationship in terms of giving loan. So as you said yesterday, that loan can be in form of financing. That is when the cooperator indicates what he wanted to use the money for, the loan for, then it can be gotten by the cooperative, then will be paying instrumentally. So I want to ask that is that what you mean by members to members relationship? And then is it not possible that a cooperator gets a cash loan, probably feeling that what he wanted to do is personal and he doesn't want to, unveil it. He doesn't want to make it known by the cooperative. Is it not permissible to, and then if it is permissible, on what basis can the cash loan be given? And then secondly is that the administrative fee that you condemn, it actually makes sense the way you explained it, and it is understandable. I want to ask what has been propounded by some scholars, because I'm into a research about Islamic Cooperative, because I'm doing my PhD and my research is based on Islamic Cooperative. So I've read some books which permitted that administrative fee can be collected. And even among the authors is the Professor Ahmad Dogarawa. So I want to ask that, is it that these theories or these opinions cannot be regarded again? Is it a new development that administrative fee is not permissible, or it is only a kind of recommendation? So this is my question, sir. And then again, sir, I want you to please elaborate more on the Musharaka basis about in terms of the membership, the members' participation. Is it just by, getting share and patronizing the product of the cooperative? Is that enough as the way of, participating, or is that enough as the way of, taking part in the running of the business in terms of, on the basis of Musharaka products, Musharaka model rather. So that is my question, sir.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for your intervention there. On the issue of loan and disclosure,
yes, sir.
You know that is the standard practice of any financial institution, even the un-Islamic. You cannot just approach them and say you need loan and you don't want to disclose. There will be something on which basis they will assess your eligibility for loan. Even if after getting the loan, you choose not to do with the loan what you have presented to be the basis for asking for loan. No financial institution give the loan just as a matter of course. So for that reason, even for the Islamic Cooperative as well, I know that they don't just give loan, they ask you what do you want to do with it. So you cannot request for loan and say it's on personal ground. And what we are saying is that the loan that our cooperative should be given should be the loan that will be in line with the tenet of Islam. Loan is not something that is to be predetermined as a way of life. It should be something that comes as a matter of urgency, emergency. But when we have now turned loan to become a transactional engagement, it goes beyond the Islamic expectation, because we have predetermined. In fact, the intention of people joining the cooperative is no longer what is because you want to go and get loan. And does Islam encourages Muslims to plan our lives on living on loan? When we know that when we die, one of the things, no matter how virtuous you are, that will prevent you from gaining entrance into the pleasure of Allah is when you have a debt hanging on your neck. Remember, we have said that part of the goals of Islamic Cooperative is to achieve the aspect of Makosi, religion. Part of our religious life is not just the life here, but the life in the year after. How we are going to meet our Lord without having something to prevent us in gaining his pleasure. If death is a burden that can affect us even after death, our cooperative should not be the platform where such will be promoted. Loan should just be in line with, and that is why they call it corridor Hasan, benevolent loan, not commercial loan, not transactional loan, not structured loan or institutionalized loan. It is corridor Hasan. That's something that you do benevolently, that is, considering the condition of that person. Somebody who is not sick, you say you want to buy a car, and because of that, you go and take loan. Is car something that is of emergency? But if somebody is sick now, and he doesn't have means, then he approaches the cooperative. The cooperative should be able to come to him and say, hey, if you want to buy your car, plan by saving for it, or you take financing, so that you know you buy the car in a commercial way. The only thing is just that you are paying for the car on installment. So this is what we are saying. Then on the issue of administrative charges, yes.
Okay.
The administrative charges. So I will not want to comment on the position of Professor Dogorawa because I've not read the paper you are talking about. I have made my own analysis clear. In the Islamic Mu'amala, you don't get something except that there is underlying asset. You have a transaction, or it is a matter of services that you render, or it is in form of other Islamic social finance. And that is why I've made a proposition that if any cooperative is still inclined towards getting something from its member on monthly basis, the legal basis that can justify that is for you to stipulate that any member from the point of joining the cooperative that they agree to be given a tabarru'a, a donation to the cooperative on monthly basis. But you are deducting administrative charges from somebody who you have not rendered any service to on that month. I told you my own personal experience. I was away for my PhD in Malaysia. I was with a cooperative. I had some fund left. When I came back, I was thinking, okay, let me go and withdraw my fund, only for me to be told that all my fund has been exhausted. In fact, I was already still owing them administrative charges. Which service did they render me during that period? That is not the justice, business justice that Islamic law want to promote. So if you can share that paper with me, perhaps I'll be able to look at it and be able to do my further analysis, perhaps on explaining maybe something that the prof did not look into in arriving at his own conclusion, or I look at how he has analyzed his basis. I've given you my own basis.
Okay, sir. Okay, I will do that, sir.
I've given you the basis of the position of those of us who say that administrative charges is not Sharia compliant, because there is no justification. You cannot just be taking money from people just as a matter of course. There must be an exchange, something that is exchanged with the cooperative to justify that. So, wallahu alam. So, inshallah, we go on break for 10 minutes.
Yes, I actually asked that. Sorry, sir. I actually asked that. Is it enough a way of being active in terms of Musharaka model for the members to just get a share and be patronizing the product of the cooperative? Is that enough? Is it justifiable, or is enough as a way of being active or in the exercise of Musharaka?
No, that is not on the basis of Musharaka. It is on the basis of the duties of members of cooperative, which is an international standard.
Okay.
Duties of members towards the cooperative, apart from the issue of the Musharaka is just for a kind of establishing the membership and commercial relationship with them. So, inshallah, we will go on break. This is, I think in Nigeria, this will be 10:40. So by 10:50, we'll be coming back to continue, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Thank you.